Welcome to the next edition of the BriefingsDirect podcast series. I'm Dana Gardner, Principal Analyst at Interharbor Solutions, your host and moderator. For managed service providers seeking to grow rapidly while remaining efficient, their bedrock security technology can make or break their ability to scale and maintain top quality customer service. By simultaneously slashing security-related trouble tickets and management costs by more than 75%, Stored Technology Solutions, or StoredTech, grew its business and quality of service at the same time. Stay with us now as we learn how StoredTech adopted Bitdefender Cloud Security for managed service providers to dramatically improve the security of their end users and develop enhanced customer loyalty. Here to discuss the role of the latest Bitdefender security technology in making MSPs more like security services providers is Mark Shaw, President of StoredTech in Raleigh, North Carolina. Welcome, Mark.
Thanks for having me.
We're glad you're here. Mark, what are some of the trends that are driving the needs for MSPs like yourself to provide security that goes beyond security, in fact, enhances the customer experience? What's driving the need for higher level of solutions security provider?
Well, I think, there's a lot of things that are different today than they were back in the day. So, if you look, attacks are very easy to implement. For $1, you can buy a malware kit on the dark web. Anyone with a desire to create havoc with malware, ransomware, or the like can do it. It's no longer a technical scenario. It's simply a financial one. At the same time, everyone is now a target. So back in the day, obviously, there were very meaty targets. People spent a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of technical ability to hack large enterprises. But now there's no business that's too small. If you have data and you don't want to lose it, you're a target. And of course, the worst part for us is MSPs are directly being targeted. So no matter what the size, if you're an MSP, they want access to your clients. China has entire groups dedicated to hacking only MSPs. So the landscape has dramatically shifted.
And of course, the end user doesn't know where the pain point is. They simply want all security all the time, and they want to go and point the finger at you if things aren't right.
Oh, absolutely, right? That's what we get paid to do.
All right, so what are your pain points? What's been from in the past, other security providers and vendors that you've used? What created the pain that made you seek a higher level of capability?
Well, what we see is a lot of pain points when it comes to, for clients, there's too many layers. So obviously we talk about security being a layering process, which is fantastic, right? You want the internet provider to be doing their part. You want the firewall to be doing its part. But when it comes to security, a lot of times we see way too many security applications running on a machine from very different vendors that really decimate the performance. So end users don't really care. They care about security, but they're not going to sacrifice performance. So, and then we've also seen firms that spend all their time meeting all these industry government regulations, and they're still completely exposed. So, what we always tell people is just because you check a box in security doesn't mean you're in compliance, doesn't mean you're secure. So you have these very, as a small business owner, what we do is we see all these pain points of how are they able to handle their compliance needs, but actually really provide actual security. And of course, in our world, we're seeing a lot of pain points because as insurance for cybersecurity becomes more prevalent, the crypto viruses and ransomware that are getting paid by insurance are becoming more prevalent. So what we almost see is a chicken and the egg thing with a recent escalation in malware and ransom attacks.
All right, well, tell us about StoredTech, your organization, before we dig into a little bit more of your journey to better security posture. What's your organization all about?
So we're a managed service provider, and we also act as a master MSP as well. So our job, we refer to it as the one throat to choke. Our job is to provide solutions that have a really large depth of scale. So for us, it's all about being able to scale. So we provide your core managed services, which most MSPs provide. We also provide telco services. We help people select and provide internet services. We spend a lot of time working with cameras and access control, which requires an entire different level of security and licensing. So we really refer to ourselves as one throat to choke. We are pretty much, if it's technology related, we really don't want customers pointing fingers of going, well, that's the telephone guy's problem, or that's the guy with the cameras and the access control. That's not us. We remove all that finger pointing, and really our job is to delight our customers by finding ways to say yes to solve their technology needs.
Okay, and you've been around for about 10 years. Do you focus on any particular verticals or size of company? How do you specialize if you do?
Yeah, so we really don't, which is actually probably bucks a lot of the trends in the industry today. We're all product of our scars, is what I say. And I worked for corporate America where we didn't know we were getting laid off until we read it in the paper. So what I've always said is I really don't want to have any one client. I don't want to have anybody really surprising us. So we have this, what I refer to as the perfect kind of bell curve. So we have clients that are literally one guy with a PC in his basement running an accounting firm, all the way up to 30,000 endpoints and employees globally. So we have a very diverse geographic as well as technical vertical set of clients. So everything from healthcare, manufacturing, you name it out there, retail, any sort of stuff, other technology firms and companies, we resell to MSPs as well. So for us, we're really not anywhere near siloed. We kind of run the gamut.
So one throat to choke is your value, and you're able to extend that, scale it up to 30,000 seats and down to a single seat. You must have been very, very choosy about what you were looking to improve your security posture. Tell me a little bit about the journey from where you were to where you are now.
Our history go way back in the day. We started with the old GFI Max product, which was an RMM product that tied Viper to it. SolarWinds acquired that product, and we got our first taste of the Bitdefender engine. We loved what Bitdefender did. When Kaseya was courting us to work with them, we told them, we're like, guys, we need to bring Bitdefender with us. At that point in time, we had no idea that Bitdefender was this entire gravity zone platform that they have, this whole MSP focus. So when we left there, we were able to get onto the Bitdefender gravity zone platform, and it was just amazing for us. So what we would do is we actually used the Bitdefender as a sales tool against other MSPs and their security platforms by saying, hey, listen, if we come in, well, you're going to put an agent on that's security software, right? Your antivirus, your content filtering, your malware detection and prevention. It's going to be lighter, faster. We're going to speed up your computers by putting this software on. So we went from this, Viper software to the Bitdefender engine, which really wasn't the full Bitdefender, to the full Bitdefender gravity zone when we finally moved with the Kaseya product in Bitdefender, and it lit up our world. We were able to do deployments faster, quicker. We really just started to scale at that point.
And just as you want to be one throat to choke to your customers, I'm pretty sure that Bitdefender wants to be one throat to choke for you. How does Bitdefender help you protect yourself as an MSP, which you mentioned you're being targeted, as well as for you to then be in a position to help all of this variety of end user size, shape, and form, as well as device type?
So for us, it really is about being able to scale, right, quickly and easily. It's the ability to have customizable solutions. So whether we're deploying it on a Mac or a SQL server or in an Azure instance in the cloud, we need scalability, but at the same time, we need customizing ability to change and modify exactly what we want out there. So for us, the Bitdefender platform that we use gives us all those ability to either ramp up or scale down the solution based on what applications are running, what the end user expects to see. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, right? We have this 800-pound gorilla, this one single point of security, and at the same time, we can get so granular with it that we can solve almost any client's need without having to retool, without layering on multiple products. In the past, we used to use, other antivirus products layered on with a content filtering product, layered on with a DNS. I mean, we just had layer after layer after layer, which for our engineers meant if you want to see what's going wrong, log into one of these 4 consoles. And today it's log into this console and you can see the status of everything. So by making it simple, right, the old KISS method, we were able to dramatically scale up and ramp up, whether it is 30,000 endpoints or one. We really have a template for almost anything. We have a great hashtag here called automate or die. And really that's a concept. How do we automate this stuff? How do we give every customer exactly what they need without totally having to retool the environment or layer on layer after layer after layer of products, which have an impact on the end user?
Right. So you're a sophisticated enough organization that you want automation, but you also want customization. And that's often a difficult balance. What is it about the Bitdefender approach, particularly the cloud security for MSPs, that gets you that balance between enough automation, but not so much so that you don't have the ability to customize?
The concept of being able to see everything in one dashboard, right? To have everything laid out in front of you, to be able to apply different templates and different configurations to different types of machines based on core functionality just really allows us to provide that customization without the large overhead of manual configuration every single time we have to do it. So to be able to add that value, but not add that additional man hours, really just brings it all together. Having that single platform, which we never had before in the old days, gives us all of that right there. We can see it, we can deploy it, we can understand and report on it. It's just, again, it's exactly what we would tell our customers, right? Come to us for one throat to choke, and we basically demand Bitdefender have that same throat to choke for us. We want it all easy, customizable. We want everything, right? We want the golden grail. we want the golden goose that lays the golden eggs, but we don't want to put any effort into it.
Sounds like the right mix to me. All right, so how well has Bitdefender been doing that for you? What's been the results? Do you have some metrics, any way to measure this?
Yeah, so I think we've had some metrics, and you mentioned them for us. We understand by what we have to do, how much time we have to support, how quickly we can implement and deploy. And, for us, we've seen malware infections reduced by about 80%. We took weekly trouble tickets from previous antivirus and security vendors from 50 down to about 1 a week. We've slashed admin costs by about 75%. Customer satisfaction's never been higher. The old days of multiple layers of security, we get calls going, my computer's running slow. And we would find that, an antivirus is scanning or so content filtering is doing some sort of update. And by being able to say, this is just really easy. We have one Bitdefender, right, agent to deploy. We go out there, we deploy it. It's super simple. And we've just had a much easier time managing that entire security apparatus versus what we used to do.
And of course, Mark, you mentioned you have a great variety of sizes of organizations that you're supporting, different types of vertical industries. But nowadays, of course, there's a great amount of variety between on-premises and cloud and that hybrid continuum in between. And it's difficult for vendors, particularly ones that have been around for a while, to support that continuum. How do you feel that Bitdefender has risen to that challenge and is able to take and help you support people, whether they're on-prem, in the cloud, both, or in some kind of a transitory stage between them all?
If you look at the complexion of most customers nowadays, that's exactly what you're going to see, right? You're going to see a bunch of people who say, I'm never, ever, ever taking my software off-prem. It's going to stay right here. I don't trust the cloud. I'm never going to use it, right? You have those never people. You have some people who say, I'd really love to go to the cloud 100%, but these 4 or 5 applications don't support it, right? So I still need servers spun up here, but I'd love to move everything else to the cloud. And then, of course, we have some clients who are literally born in the cloud. I'm starting a new company. Everything is going to be cloud enabled. If you can't put it up in the cloud, if you can't put it in Azure or something of the sort, don't even talk to us about it. So the nice part about that is it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we all make jokes, right? The cloud is just somebody else's hardware. So if we're responsible for either those VDI desktops or those servers or those workstations, whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter if it's an Exchange, a SQL server, an app server, an Active Directory server. We have a template. We can deploy it. It's quick and painless. Knowing that the Gravity Zone is completely cloud-centric means that I don't have to worry about loading anything on-prem. I don't have to spin up a server to manage it. It's just, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, whatever the complexion of the customer is, we can absolutely tailor their need with the Bitdefender product without a lot of headache.
We've talked about the one throat to choke and the streamlining from a technology and a security perspective, but as a business, you also want to streamline operations, billing, licensing, making sure that people aren't being overcharged or undercharged. Is there anything about the Bitdefender approach in the cloud, particularly, that's allowed you to maybe have less complexity when it comes to that licensing and sharing the costs and managing the costs across your ecosystem of both suppliers as well as your customers?
Well, the nice part about it, at least for us, is we don't put a client out there without Bitdefender. So for us, it's almost a one-to-one, right? For every one RMM agent deployed, one Bitdefender deployed, period. It's clean and simple. There's no fuss. If a client's working with us, they're going to be on our solutions and our process. Again, going back to that old KISS method, right? If we can just keep it simple, if we can say it's really easy. So when it comes back to the back office billing, if we have an RMM agent on there, it's got a Bitdefender agent. Bitdefender has a great set of APIs, not to get super technical, but we have a developer on staff who can mine those APIs, pull that stuff out, make sure that we're synchronized to our RMM product, and and just go from there. So as long as we have found that on the back end, we have a simple solution, a simple way of billing, clients don't mind it. And our accounting department really likes it because if there's an RMM agent on there, there's a Bitdefender agent. It's as simple as that.
What comes next? Is there other layers of security that you're looking at? Maybe full disk encryption, maybe looking more at virtualization benefits and containers, of course, being a big subject these days. Where would you like to go next, and how can Bitdefender better support you there?
Bitdefender encryption, fantastic, right? It's exactly what we need. I trust Bitdefender to have our best interest, right? Bitdefender is a partner of ours. We really mean that. They're not a vendor. So when they talk to us about things that they're seeing, we want to make sure that we spend a lot of time and understand that. So, from our standpoint, encryption, absolutely. Right now, we spend a lot of time. We have a lot of custom clients who have data that is not necessarily PII, but is data that is subject to patents, right? Or this is their secret sauce and it can't get out there. So we've used Bitdefender to do a lot of things like locking down USB drives and things along that line. I know that there's a lot of talk about machine learning and AI out there. And to me, they're really cool buzzwords, but I don't know if they're there yet. But if they get there, I believe, and I trust that Bitdefender is going to say, we're there, we believe it's the right thing to do. I've seen a lot of next generation AI that says, antivirus and software says, we use only AI or we all use machine learning only. And what I see is those are, they miss a parent threat. They slow the machines down to a crawl. They make the end user experience miserable. So what I would say is, as Bitdefender looks down these roads of, machine learning and AI, just make sure to be cutting edge here, but don't be bleeding edge because nobody wants to hemorrhage cash, time, and everything else. But we're vested in the Bitdefender experience. These guys and girls at the Bitdefender environment, they know what's coming out. They see it all the time. We're happy to play along with that. Typically, by the time it hits an end user or a customer in the enterprise space, it's kind of old hat. So, I think the real cutting edge, bleeding edge stuff happens well before an MSP tends to play in that space. But I think there's a lot out there. There's a lot of stuff coming out. There's a lot of security risk, right? Mobile devices, the Internet of everything, TVs. Every day now you see how those are being hacked, whether it's the microphone or the camera or whatever it is. There's a lot of opportunity and a lot of growth out there, and I'm sure Bitdefender's on top of it.
All right, before we close out, any advice for organizations on how to do security better as a culture, as sort of an ongoing, never-ending journey? Because as you mentioned, you peel back the onion, you hit another layer, and then there's something more you have to solve the next day. This is a nonstop kind of affair. What advice do you have for people so that they don't lose track of that they always stay with the times and are feeling confident about their posture?
Well, from an MSP standpoint, whether you're an engineer or you're in the sales and account management world, it's constant learning, right? Understand, listen to your clients. Your clients are going to tell you what they need. They're going to tell you what they're concerned about. They're going to tell you their feelings. If you listen to your clients and you're in tune with them, they're going to really help set the direction for your company at the end of the day. They're going to guide you in what's most important to them. And then that should obviously parlay into what's most important for you. From our world, we went from just data storage and MSP to adding in telco and phones, structured cabling, cameras, access control, because our clients asked us. They kept saying, these are pain points. Can you help us with that? And for me, that's really the recipe to success. Listen to your clients, understand what they want. And especially when it comes to the security space, we always tell everybody, eat your own dog food. If you're selling a security solution that you're putting out there for your clients, make sure your employees have it on all their machines. Make sure your employees are using it at home, right? Get the same experience that customers. If you're going through cybersecurity training, put your staff through cybersecurity training. Everyone, from the CEO right down to the person managing the warehouse, should go through the same training. If we put ourselves in our customers' shoes and we listen to our customers, no matter what it is, security, phones, computers, MSP, whatever it is if you're in tune with your customers, you're gonna have success. And really, for us, that's what it's been. We just try to find it to get to a way to say yes and delight our customers. And at the end of the day, if you're doing that, if you're listening to their needs, that's all that matters.
Well, really great. I'm afraid we'll have to leave it there. We've been listening to a sponsored BriefingsDirect discussion on how MSP's bedrock security technology can make or break their ability to scale and maintain that top quality customer service. And we've learned how StoredTech adopted Bitdefender Cloud Security for MSPs to dramatically improve their security, but also developed enhanced customer loyalty. So please join me in thanking our guest. We've been here with Mark Shaw, president of StoredTech in Raleigh, North Carolina. Thanks so much, Mark.
Thank you.
I'm Dana Gardner, Principal Analyst at InterArbor Solutions, your host and moderator for this ongoing series of BriefingsDirect discussions. A big thank you to our sponsor, Bitdefender, for supporting these presentations. Also, a big thank you to you, our audience, for joining us. Please pass this information on to your IT community and do come back next time.